So in this part 2 here, we're going to learn how to install and set up Python inside our computer. Now, if you're sitting on Windows, Linux, or Mac, things are going to be slightly different. Fun fact, if you're sitting on a Mac computer, you do actually already have Python installed by default since it is part of the operating system. But it is better to go inside and install your own version since it will be up to date and you have control over which version you're using. So going inside Python's website, just like we're doing here for Windows, is still a good idea. So if you're sitting on Windows or Mac, we're going to go to this website, which is called python.org. And then we're going to go and install the latest version of Python. There is also a terminal version of doing things. So if you're interested in doing it that way, I will have a step-by-step guide in the description of this video on how to do that. If you're sitting on Linux, there will also be a step-by-step guide inside the description of this video, just kind of showing you what you need to type inside the terminal step-by-step in order to install and set up Python. So with that said, if you're sitting on Windows or Mac, you're going to go to python.org, then you're going to go up to downloads, and then you're going to go down to where it says Windows or Mac. So basically, if you're sitting on Windows, you go to Windows, then you go and get the latest Python installer manager. So you're going to click that, you're going to scroll down to the bottom, and then you can just go ahead and get the installer at the bottom here. Again, it's going to be the same process for Mac. There is a slight difference though, because once you have downloaded the installer, and I did actually uninstall Python from my system just to kind of go through this step by step with you guys. But if I were to go ahead and open the installer, you can see that we get this little window here. On Mac, it's pretty straightforward. You just gotta install the software. But on Windows, we do need to do one extra step. My thing here is in Danish for some reason. I don't think my system is set up for Danish, but apparently it is. So we're going to go ahead and say that we want to install Python. And once we've done that, or at least installed this Python manager, it does say something inside the terminal, which is Windows PowerShell that we have open right now. This is the extra step for Windows users. It says add commands directory to your path now. Very important you say yes to this, because this is going to make sure that you can actually gain access to Python functions no matter where you are inside your terminal. So we're going to go ahead and say yes, or Y for yes. You're going to go and click it. Then it's going to tell you do not have the latest Python runtime, so install the latest version of CPython. Then just go ahead and say Y for yes and install it now. And then it's going to start installing. And once it's done, we can then start verifying which Python version you have, just to kind of check that everything got installed correctly. After it's done installing, it's going to ask if you want to view online help. We're just going to say end for no, because we do not need to have that. And now you should have Python installed. So for Mac users, of course, you didn't have to add to path. That is more of a Windows thing. But what you can now do is you can open up Windows PowerShell, which should look something like this. Just go down to the search bar, click PowerShell, and then it should open up here. There's also the command prompt, or if you're on Mac, it's just called terminal. If you're on Linux, it's just called terminal. Basically, you need to open your terminal at this point here. So what we can do now is we can actually go ahead and ask it what Python version we have installed on our system, just to double check what exactly we're using. So if I write Python -- version, you can see that I get Python version 3.14.6. So that is the version we're using right now in this tutorial series here. Of course, if you have a later version, which makes sense because in 2 years from now, there's of course going to be updates to Python. And just to mention it for Mac users, because this might be a little bit different, instead of writing Python, you might have to write Python 3 and then -- version. Now, in my case here, it does the exact same thing. It just kind of tells me what Python version I'm using. But just know that in some cases, if Python is not working for you, try Python 3 and then whatever commands. And this is basically it. We have Python installed. Now, we do need to do one other thing just to make things a little bit easier for us. This is not something that you have to do, but it's just kind of like, if you don't do this, then it's going to be a little bit more difficult and a little bit more tricky writing code inside Visual Studio Code. Basically, we need to have a IntelliSense set up for Python. So if I'm typing something and my code is incorrect, or if there's some sort of wrong syntax, then I do want my editor to tell me that something is wrong. So basically, you need to go inside where we have our extensions, which is down here. You're going to search for something called Pylance. Pylance is actually the IntelliSense that we use inside Visual Studio Code. So you're going to install this one, as your extension. And then once you've done that, we're actually pretty much ready for writing Python code. So let's just for fun try and write some sort of Python program, just a really quick one, which is sort of a tradition. You say hello world and then it spits it out. What we're going to do is we're going to go inside our editor and we're going to say file. Then we're going to say open folder, and you're just going to find some place inside your computer where you're going to have your first Python application or maybe all your Python projects installed. Just some sort of place where we can save this little Python script that we're writing. I don't know your computer. You might want to have it on your desktop. You might want to have it inside your subfolder somewhere, but just go ahead and open up some place. Now, I do have a folder on my computer called Python, and inside that folder, I have a YouTube folder specifically for YouTube videos. Just going to right click and say Python _course. Now, it is sort of a good idea not to use any sort of spaces and stuff. Just kind of write underscores when you're, naming your file category system. So I'm just going to go in and say Python course, go in here and select this folder here. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create a new file. So I'm going to say new file, and I'm going to call it something like intro.py, just to give it some sort of name, just for our first application here. So I'm going to say enter. And .py is actually the extension we have for specifically Python files. Now, if you do get a pop-up notification down at the bottom here that says something about adding the default interpreter path, then we can actually go ahead and change that really quickly, because that's probably a good idea. So if you click Open Settings, and then you can see it opens up this default interpreter path window setting, which is basically more of a Windows thing, again, because we had to set up something on our path on Windows. But basically, this is pointing to the wrong path if you get this notification. So what you can do is you can open up your terminal again, and then you can write where Python. Actually, we need to type where.exe Python. If you do that, it's going to give you a path. Basically, just go ahead and copy paste this path here, since that is where you have your Python installed. Then you're going to go back in here, you're going to paste that in, and that is going to be your particular Python path directory. So once we do that, you can close it down, and it should now be working, and there should be no path sort of errors. So what we're going to do inside our Python script here is we're going to go ahead and write print parentheses, and then we're going to write a message inside using double quotes, and we're going to say hello world. After doing that, we're going to open up our folder where we have our project. So in my case here, I had it inside Python, YouTube, Python course, and then I have my file here. I'm just going to go ahead and copy the path for this particular folder where I have my project. I'm going to go back inside PowerShell, and then I'm going to write CD for content directory, and then I'm going to go ahead and paste in the path, click enter, and then you can see now I'm inside the directory for this particular project. And from here, we can actually do a couple of different things. You could, if you don't have VSCode open right now, you could also write code space dot or punctuation, which is basically just going to open up this project inside VSCode. So if we were to click enter here, you can see it just kind of opens up inside VSCode because I already had it open. But that is also a shortcut for opening up this particular project inside VSCode, if you want to know how to do that. But what you can do is you can basically just type Python space and then the name of your file. So in this case, it is intro.py. And of course, we can do this because we're inside the correct directory. So intro.py, click enter. And then you can see it spits out hello world, because we now access this file and it is now doing what we told it to do. In this case here, this is just a basic console spit out command. So we just get it directly inside PowerShell. And you might be asking, well, how do we go from this? Because now we're just making it spit out things inside the console. So if we were to, copy paste this down a few times and go back in and just click up on the keyboard so we can get the previous command, click enter, and then you can see, oh, we get more stuff. But this isn't really a software, this isn't a application, just like VS Code is an application or Photoshop is an application. How do we create applications? And that is something we're going to get to in further lessons. That is a little bit down the road, but we will get there at some point. So this was basically how you could install Python and set up a quick program you could just sort of run inside your PowerShell or inside your terminal, just so you can get some sort of thing out, just so we know that this is actually working. Of course, we will get more into detail in further episodes, but for now, this is pretty much what I wanted to do, just to kind of test out if our installation actually worked. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.